Welcome to today's Research Business Daily Report, where we're going to take a look at Kraft's in-store marketing and metrics, which hope to reconfigure and rework the center of retail outlets. And then we're going to hear directly from Unilever Senior Vice President of CMI, Sthanunathan, about his department's current and future research focuses. RBDR is sponsored today and this week by Nuance, offering their clients multi-language verbatim coding services that help them quantify the meaning of open-ended answers. Nuance, a decision analyst company. Kraft Foods Vice President of Category Leadership and Shopper Insights, Art Sebastian, shared some of the CPG marketer's newer in-store marketing objectives with CPG Matters Dale Buss. As part of Kraft's reinvention and hopeful revitalization of the center of brick-and-mortar stores, Sebastian noted, quote, "The path to purchase has evolved to multiple message points, which include a variety of offline and online elements that mean the consumer can shop from anywhere," end of quote. Thus, Kraft is co-testing, among other things, new in-store experiences that include physically disrupting the traditional straight center aisle of the store and implementing ceiling-mounted compelling animation that is projected onto the floor of stores that consumers are visiting. Kraft is also testing, with the help of Intel, in-store facial recognition signage, and it is experimenting with front-of-the-store three-sided digital signage kiosks. One features a big screen with a recipe. A second big screen has a food preparation chore, and the third allows the retailer to deliver a message of its own. All in all, very interesting retail stuff and some new metrics that these research people will be collecting. Moving on, at ARF a few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of speaking with Unilever Senior Vice President of Consumer and Market Intelligence, Sthanunathan. Stan and his boss, CMO Keith Weed, had presented their joint efforts to prepare the research department's future to the conference's attendees the day before. And so we started by asking Stan to balance the present and his future research needs. So, Stan, let me ask you, you talked yesterday about your long-term or your longer-term research efforts to try to improve the research effort at Unilever, but you've got day-to-day responsibilities to get important information now. Mm-hmm. How do you balance those two things?
Yeah, okay. The first and foremost thing, Bob, is you can never mortgage the short term for the long term. If you do that, then you're killing the business in the short term. So therefore, 80-90% of the time, money, and everything that we spend is focused on how do we help the company to really do very well in the short and medium term. But then you also need to have the discipline to ring fence people, resources, and money to do the innovative stuff. Because if you don't do that, in the long run, you're not future-proofing your business. Mm-hmm. And therefore, what we've got is a fairly good discipline of ring fencing people, resources, to focus on the long term. And when you ring fence that, and when they come up with great ideas, money is always found for great ideas. So that puts pressure on people to come up with big breakthrough ideas. Because when you come up with a breakthrough idea, people look at it and say, oh my God, that's so cool. And then you say, okay, if it's cool, you want to use it? They say, yeah, and show me the money. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's all about show me the money. And our stakeholders are the ones who actually spend money.
Now, you also talked about, as your future casting, what you may want to be able to do in research. You said you're not really interested in CPG type ideas right now as far as technology goes. Yeah. You're looking for other things. Does that mean that if somebody's got a really novel new way of doing research, that it's going to be difficult to get somebody in Unilever to pay attention to it?
Not true. That's not true at all. If somebody has got somebody who's in the current repertoire of providers, right, if they have a novel new idea, absolutely, bring it on. Because sometimes, people who know the research industry can actually come up with something that's really breakthrough. Mm-hmm. So I'm not close to the idea, but all that I'm saying is the reason why I'm looking at outside of the traditional space is because you don't know what you don't know. And if you continue to fish in the same pond, you'll keep getting the same fish again and again. And therefore, you got to have a bit of vision and say, okay, I'll go and see. Go where no man has gone before. Maybe you'll get something.
Right. Okay. And finally, the relationship that you and Keith Weed have seems to be quite unusual from what I've seen and from what other people describe as the relationship that tends to go on between a research department and the marketing department. Why does it work so well for you at Unilever?
First and foremost thing is, I genuinely believe that, fish stinks from the head. Yeah? And in my case, unfortunately or fortunately, the fish is actually a really strong, robust fish. So he sets trends, which we all follow. And he's somebody who has your back consistently. And he's somebody who strongly believes in insights. And the thing that he keeps telling me is, I have not hired you to please people. I have hired you to drive growth in the business. So tell it as it is, no holds barred.
That's your Research Business Daily Report, where we've been sponsored by Nuance, offering multi-language verbatim coding services to help companies quantify the meaning of open-ended answers. Nuance, a decision analyst company, has asked us to help them to create a link so that you can find out more about their terrific service. So here it is, www.nuancecoding.com. Take a look at it. It'll be well worth your while. Have a great research day, and we'll see you back here with us tomorrow.